I feel like Tony Ferguson has every reason just to quit. Just to, like, when things get tough, he's just going to roll over. And if you could push him to that spot, like...
I'll be a second person there. I'll be able to walk into the door. It's just going to be a matter of if he decides to walk through it or not. So we'll see what happens. But I feel good.
How was it over at Arnett's?
With Austin's, it was really good, man. It was good. He's got, I mean, himself, Austin's, he's an elite fighter, fought in the UFC as a featherweight, fighting at lightweight now, and I feel like he's, maybe doesn't have the same reach as Tony, but similar height. I feel like he's faster. He's definitely the more polished striker. And then he's got some young up-and-comers that can give me some good looks.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it was really good having those guys switching off on me. They definitely, the first day, put it on me pretty good, and then the next day, I was able to kind of get one back on him. So those were good rounds, and then working on maybe going over to the west side, get some working with Chase Hooper. I think he'll be a really good look for Tony Ferguson. I think he's obviously got the grappling, the scrambling abilities, and he himself is polishing up to be quite a nice little striker himself, as we saw in that last fight against Vyacheslav Borshov. So I feel like I got the right guys. Dylan holding the reins, you know, working my strength conditioning, getting my motor right, taking care of my deficits and keeping my strengths where they need to be. And obviously over at Newborn with James Weed and all those guys, and my sick crew, Ashton, Brady, all the guys, I feel like I got all the pieces in place. Really have a good camp, and it's been great so far. You know, I feel like I can fight tomorrow, you know, so it's nice that I think I leave in 24 days, June 24th, so I feel good.
Abu Dhabi, baby.
Abu Dhabi, love Dhabi. That's the last place I gotta win.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we're going back.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool, man. And I think that, like, this is a good fight for me to, like, I like making an event of everything, and, you know, like bringing all my friends, all my family, coordinating, putting the pieces together, bringing everyone together. And I feel like this is the fight to not do that. I feel like this is the fight to just really focus on myself, be a little more selfish. And I think it makes it a lot easier when you got to go halfway across the world. So it's just gonna be me, my team, my sister, my mom, and my wife. And that's all I need. You know, I love all my friends. I love my whole support group. I'm very blessed. But I know they'll be supporting me from afar. So it's good to just kind of less is more, focus more on the fight, and then just let myself be free and focus on the matchup. So it's been good having a lot of assets. We're talking about with Joe a lot, who's a sports psychologist, talking to Mindset Mike today. I have no problem. Physical work has never been a problem for me. It's always been up here. So spending more time kind of getting refined between the years, I think will help me a lot in this fight.
Yeah. 24 days.
Yeah.
18-hour flight.
Easy. I just did it. So
when you put 24 days, I want you to think about that hard push today.
Yeah.
You only have two. You have two hard pushes left.
Yeah, and that's the thing too that my uncle was telling me about is like be obsessed with every single day, you know. And I think that that's something that I'm always super focused when it comes to training camp, but like be more obsessive about it. Like there was a time in my career when I just like I didn't go to birthday parties. I didn't do anything. I just was like, I had no problem being like, I have a fight and just would cancel everything. And I let myself get away from that and still found a lot of success. You know, that was never an issue. But I feel like this fight's like, I'm kind of going back to some of my old ways that were really good. Like, and I think maybe that's because I fought, you know, I was supposed to fight Tony when I was in my 20s, when I was very much in that state of mind. So I think like being matched up with him is kind of bringing back some old feelings, bringing back that different kind of fire I felt when I was younger. So it's been fun feeling these feelings, you know.
You're also one of the only guys who's on the broadcast team and also actively competing. Too.
Yeah.
You just saw Anthony Smith, you know, fight on the main card of a pay-per-view.
Yeah. So. And he's just more willing to jump in the mix. You know, he makes a lot of money. So I think that they call him for every short notice opportunity. I don't really operate like that. I'm a training camp type guy. I like to be very prepared. My biggest fear is not losing. My biggest fear is being in a fight and being completely gassed out and helpless and defenseless, you know, like, and that could very well happen after you have a training camp, but I'm just more of a preparation type guy. But
you got the right people around you.
Yeah, you know, and it's nice too, because like last weekend, not this last weekend, the weekend before, I had to go to Saudi Arabia, so I got a taste of that flight, got over there, felt what it was like to kind of have to wake up on the time change, the heat. It was actually very beneficial. So yeah, I just feel like there's so many things that feel so right about this fight. And it's one that I'm just glad that like last time we talked, I'm just really excited to like get this fight. This would have been a very big fight for me 8 years ago. And while we're in different places in our careers, respectfully, I'm glad I get this fight. I'm glad I can say that I got to fight Tony Ferguson.
Still a fun fight.
Still a fun fight. He's still El Cucuy, man. To me, he's still that bad motherfucker on a 13-fight win streak that fucking filleted everybody's face with his elbows. You know, he's a dangerous guy. And I think that with him kind of knowing that this could be his last fight in the UFC, probably will be his last fight in the UFC. You know, he's had a few surgeries to correct some things. I see he's sparring again. I think I'm going to get the best Tony Ferguson that we've seen in a long time. And that's what really excites me about this fight. Is I don't want the guy that everybody's talking down. I don't want everybody calls him washed up. I don't think he's washed up at all. I think he's primed himself for I think he's primed himself to give the fans one last glimpse of that 13-fight win streak, Tony El Cucuy Ferguson, and that's the Tony Ferguson I want. I want that guy. I want the dangerous Tony Ferguson. So I'm hoping that's the one that shows up.
One other thing is I feel like you have the motivation right now too. You have your other guys, you know, Brady Easton going out there winning a performance of the night. Like, I feel like that's going to drive you, you know, propel you to want to put on the best performance that you can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, honestly, it's like I had guys I looked up to when I got in the sport, particularly here. And as I was making my way up and finally getting to the UFC, those guys dropped off. And I've been kind of just having to pave my own way, kind of by myself, and not having guys to kind of look up to and maybe grab onto them and have them take me along the path that they're paving. It can be hard, you know, and when I got these young up-and-comers like Brady, Ashton, and they're kind of walking my line, it just gives me the desire to push harder, push further, and pave this trail and this path as long and as far as I can. So when it's time for me to step back, I will have covered enough ground for them because they're coming along with me for the ride. So I'm hoping that I bring them along far enough that when it's time for me to step off the beaten path, that they can take this thing to new heights that I can never get to take this city to new heights. And that motivates me, man. You got to find reasons that are bigger than yourself. And a big part of the reason why I want to keep pushing is for them. It's not for me. I want to do it for these guys. I want to show them what's possible, and just pave this path, take it as far as I can. So when it's my time to step back, they can take it further than I did. But I ain't stepping off that beaten path anytime soon, brother.
Not yet, baby. Not yet. We got one more run in us.
Yeah, that's right. One more run.
Can't wait, bro.
Let's go, baby.